Hello friends, how you doing? Day 888, oh my god, it is so beautiful outside. I hope you're getting outside and enjoying the sun. I'm here with my new friend, Sangeeta. I actually met her last week at the opening of the what is it? Hearts of Freedom exhibit, yes, which I'm actually going to go down to volunteer right after this. And so, anyways, she was telling me a little about a story that she had to share, and she actually wrote a play about it. And so I could relate to many parts of it, and so I found it fascinating. So I thought I'd just ask her to come on in and to share a little bit about what the play is about and why she wrote it. So Sangeeta, what's the play about and why did you write it?
Well, the play is inspired by my friend's story, and actually I collected a lot of stories. It's a Vietnamese story, really. It's about leaving Vietnam in the 70s by boat. So it's a mother and her 6 children, separated from the father on the ocean, and enduring pirate attacks and typhoons and shipwreck onto a deserted island and starvation and more. But it is a story, a mother-daughter story as well, where the mother is telling her daughter the story 30 plus years later for the first time. And it's sort of a lot of things. It's also about mother-daughter relationships, a mother finding her voice, and the themes of othering are prevalent throughout as well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so obviously I'm Viet, and I went through some of that, but I was 2 months when I left Vietnam. So, and it's still kind of crazy to me, some of the things that people went through. And so when she was telling me about it, I'm like, wow. And so now you're not Vietnamese.
No.
So how come it? How did you get to the point where you had to tell this story for yourself?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that way. I think art chooses us more than we choose art. I was approached to submit some writing to a theater in town, which came out of a conversation about what did it mean to be Asian and was I Asian. At that time, in 2016, I asked the artistic director, her answer was no, but I am South Asian. But she understood what I was trying to get to, was that could I be a part of this community? She understood that we needed to expand the borders of what Asian meant, and so she approached me a few months later and said, can you submit some writing? I think would be a way to expand those boundaries of what it means to be Asian. And then I went to my friend's place and we were having a barbecue, and then I learned a little bit about her story, but she also didn't know enough about her story because her mother hadn't told her. So it was a surreal sort of moment where I felt that story grabbed me, and that was the story I had to tell rather than my own. And at the time it made no sense because I'm an actor as well, and I couldn't be in a play that I'm not Vietnamese, so why was I drawn and why did I feel so compelled to tell the story? It took me about 2 years to recognize that there were deep themes, deep parallels to my own story within that story. And magically, as I said, art chooses us, it actually led me back to my own story, which I couldn't have known, couldn't have told if I hadn't told the story first.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes I believe that we're led at times to take on certain things. We may not see it or understand it, but I think if you kind of let go and allow the universe to kind of guide us sometimes, magic can happen. And so you actually got this, so this was actually into a contest, is that correct?
Well, so how it works in the theater world is you submit for a chance to be part of, at that time, a playwrights lab. And so I was chosen, one of 3 playwrights were chosen to develop the piece. At that time, I think I had written 1 scene and just an idea. And so 5 months went by and I had this play. I'd done some research, it was scraping the tip really. And then from those 3, there was a second phase, and 1 play was chosen to go forward. And my little play was chosen at that time to go forward as the sole play. From there, it was a lot of work into this, 4.5 years of pretty intense research, 2 trips overseas, a lot of like hundreds of hours of interviews, a lot of reading articles and books and nonfiction and fiction, all of those things to learn about a lot of like getting introduced to people and attending community events and getting to know the community. And finding the support and the partnerships within the community to support the story was really important. So yeah, from one submission to grant funding to more workshops, which I did one of those workshops in Malaysia actually, with a well-known director there, Chin San Sui, who studied under Sir John Feelgood in England. So, you know, these sorts of things just kind of, like as you said, we get led, there's a magic to why things keep coming, and so this play just kept getting pushed ahead and had a mind of its own to the extent that it actually got a professional world premiere in November 2021.
That's amazing. Congratulations, by the way. And so, like, so you were just sharing with me that you want to make this into an actual production, right? And so, what do you actually need to actually make that happen?
Yeah, so I should say that the first production that we did in November was the world professional premiere. So it was a professional production, but it was COVID times, so it was live streamed, and it did reach and broke live stream records to 13 countries, which is a lot. I actually know people in 10 of those countries, but we had a large community behind it, and it did get nominated for 6 awards. It did get put on the curriculum at University of Victoria, one of 4 plays there, and it did come in 3rd highest as grossing for the pandemic programming for that particular presentation house over the 2 years. But what it didn't have was a live production. And so I would love to see this, and it was beautiful the way it was done as a live stream, and it was quite artful to have 7 cameras and to be able to get certain things in there, like shadow play and ritual dance, and we had a live musician, and a lot of beautiful things happened that got translated to the screen really well. But what I would love to see is that live, breathing, visceral production, and I have a lot of ideas for how that could be amplified if it ever got to that point. But what we want is that. We want to bring people together in a room and actually be a part of that story.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, my friends, if any of you know anybody who might be able to help Sangeeta, definitely reach out, and, you know, hopefully we can make some magic happen. But awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share with my friends?
I just want to say how indebted I am and will always be to the Vietnamese community, because I feel that I learned a lot. I learned a lot about surrender. I went to Vietnam and fell in love with the country. I learned a lot about the generosity, the kindness, the respect that I see in that community, and the stories that everyone shared with me from here, from the Philippines, from Malaysia, from Vietnam, you know, from all over the world in some respects, really inspired me to keep going when things were not so easy, when things were very challenging. But I kept thinking of that mother and her 6 children, which represented a lot of Vietnamese people, and how they could not give up and how they had to survive. And so for that, I thank the Vietnamese community for really showing me the way, and for being accepting of me as well.
Awesome. That's beautiful. and that's a reminder, I need to go back to Vietnam and visit sometime soon. Yes. But awesome, my friends. Yeah, you know what? If there's something on your heart and it's tugging you and there's something you need to do, like, just take some action. You never know where it's going to take you, but, you know, get the message out there, because, you know what? We all need to step up. We all need to allow the light inside of us to come out and shine, right? Imagine the world, okay? And so, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for sharing, Sangeeta. And
yes, and that's it. Really, I mean, it's a beautiful day in Vancouver, and here we are talking about this story and what it means to us, and I hope it means something to everyone who's watching.
Yeah, definitely. All right, my friends, have a great rest of your day. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.